Okay, so today we're going to be talking about expanded notation. You guys have heard of expanded form before. We did practice with that with whole number place value, where you take apart the value of the number and you add it to all of the values of each digit that form a number. Today we're going to do something similar, but it is called expanded notation. So expanded notation is basically the same thing. You are adding place values together. But we are using decimal and fraction forms. So you're going to see what that looks like in just a minute. And you've seen it before. You just might not have known that it's called expanded notation. Standard form we're familiar with. Standard form is when you see just the number, regular. And word form is when we write it in words. So there are two ways to show expanded notation. Both will be adding, but you may be adding fractions, or you may be adding decimals. So we are about to show what that's going to look like both ways. Okay, the chart that I have here gives me a number. It tells me the value of each digit in each of my places. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand it out using expanded notation form first using fractions. The only time it's going to affect your number is if it's less than 1, because the fraction part, when we get to the tenths, the hundreds, and the thousandths, that's where the fraction comes in. The whole number side to the left of the decimal, it's going to look just like it normally would when you see it in expanded notation form. So what it'll look like is if I had 6 times 100. So if y'all ever seen it this way before, where it's in the parentheses and it shows you like how I get 600?
Yes, definitely.
And then we have 7 times 10 and 4 times 1. So the 100 or the 10 or the 1, that is showing the value of that place. The digit is showing, or the other digit is what is in my number given to me. Okay, for the tenths, what it'll look like in fraction form would be 2 times 1/10. For the hundreds, it's going to be 9 times 1. What do you think goes on the bottom? 100, because it's the hundredths place. And then this one will be 1 times 1 over
1,000.
Very good. 1,000. Okay, so that's the fraction. We also have the decimal way. So before the decimal point, it's going to look exactly the same. It's still going to be 6 times 100, 7 times 10, and 4 times 1. But after the decimal is where it changes. This time, instead of writing 1/10 as a fraction, I'm writing it as a decimal. So it's going to be 2 times 0.1. The next one will be 9 times 0.01. And the last one will be 1 times 0.001. The last way that I'm going to write it is in expanded form. So we're going to make a note off to the side in your journal. We're going to write expanded form out here, just off to the side somewhere. And we're going to draw a little arrow to this box. Expanded form is when I apply what I'm showing here in expanded notation to get the actual value of the digit. So the value of 6 times 100 is 600. The value of 7 times 10 is 70. The value of 4 times 1 is 4. This is what you're probably used to seeing. This is expanded form. The value of 2 times 1/10 is 2/10. The value of 9 times 100 is 9/100. And the value of 1 times 1,000 is just 1,000. So that is expanded form. Now, standard form is plain, basic. It is going to look like this. 674 decimal point 291. Word form, we just worked on this yesterday. Word form, we're going to spell it out. So we're going to start with the whole number first. How do I say this part? Yep, 674. What do I always write for the decimal point? And. And then the last part, 291. And then don't forget our shortcut that we talked about yesterday, where if we write a 1 under the decimal point and then zeros underneath each of these digits, it kind of is like a little cheat code, tells us how to end the word form. So what does the 1 with the 3 zeros make? What number? 1,000. So it's going to be 291 thousandths. Okay, so far all we've done is we've showed what each digit, how we would represent that in expanded notation. To actually have it in expanded notation format using fractions, I have to add something in between each one. So what it's going to look like on your paper, it may look like this. 6 times 100 plus 7 times 10 plus. What comes next? 4 times 1 plus. Then I'm on the fraction side. So then it's going to be 2 times 1/10 as a fraction plus. The next number is 9. 1 over 100 plus 1 times 1 over 1,000. Okay, that is what your expanded notation will look like. And you are basically just solving like each part of it and showing me the value of each digit. The last part is if it were in decimal notation. So on this one, the first 3 numbers would still be the same. It would be 6 times 100 plus 7 times 10 plus 4 times 1 plus. This is where it changes. Instead of 2 times 1/10 as a fraction, it's 2 times 1/10 as a decimal plus 9 times 100th as a decimal plus 1 times 1,000th as a decimal. Those are the 2 ways you may see expanded notation. Anytime we do expanded notation or different forms of numbers, this is what I want you looking at. I want you looking at this page and the page before. It's reading, writing, and expanded. Okay, you will have practice on this on maybe Monday. All right, right now what we're going to do is we're going to turn back to our table of contents, and I'm going to, oh wait, hold on. We got to do the guided practice. I almost forgot. Okay, I'm going to let you and your table figure those out. We'll check them together in just a second. On number 1, what is the expanded form of 2100s? You should have C. Number 2, which shows 134 thousandths written in expanded form? Yes, it is A. Number 3, we're trying to find the expression in expanded form of the factors to rewrite the expression 25 times 42 hundredths. We know it can't be B. It is C. And the last one, which expression uses that same expanded form of the factors to rewrite 31 times 27 hundredths? And yes, it is D. Very good.